The woman had just finished changing the bedsheets for her mother-in-law. The next second, her mother-in-law wailed and pulled several needles from under herself. Everyone in the hospital room believed the woman had done it intentionally. The husband even scolded her, accusing her of mistreating his mother. The woman thought it was just an accident, but not long after, her mother-in-law wanted to look at photos of her late husband. The woman hurriedly brought the photo album and handed it to a nurse. However, as soon as the nurse opened it, she publicly shamed the woman. It turned out the album was filled with evidence of the woman's mistreatment. She was pushed to the ground by an angry crowd and the nurses. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself back at the moment when she was changing the bedsheets. This time, she pretended not to hear her mother-in-law's inner thoughts. She quickly hid her husband's charger. As expected, her husband, with a dead phone, anxiously urged her to find the charger. The woman thought this would be her excuse to avoid her mother-in-law. But to her surprise, her mother-in-law wrote down her request with a pen. Knowing she couldn't avoid it, the woman deliberately slowed down her actions. The impatient husband, desperate to charge his phone, pushed her aside. He changed the bedsheets as quickly as he could. When the mother-in-law lay back on the bed, she was pricked by needles, just like in the previous life. As the nurse was about to blame her, the woman turned and angrily accused her husband of harming his mother. The husband hurriedly tried to defend himself, but everyone had seen him change the sheets. No matter how much he tried to explain, everyone was convinced he had mistreated his mother. In a panic, the husband begged his mother to speak up for him. Seeing this, the crowd called the police, demanding the husband be investigated. The mother-in-law, frantic as her son was taken away, pleaded with the woman to testify for him. But the woman pretended not to see or hear. Left with no other options, the mother-in-law grew increasingly desperate. The doctors decided to proceed with the surgery ahead of schedule. Unexpectedly, just like before, the mother-in-law asked the woman to bring the photo album. The nurse also reminded her to fulfill the old woman's wish. Reluctantly, the woman agreed, but as she approached the operating room, a nurse suddenly stopped her and reached for the album. Without even opening it, the nurse loudly accused the woman of mistreating her mother-in-law. Everyone turned to look. Calmly, the woman warned that without evidence, the nurse could be sued for defamation. Confidently, the nurse opened the album, claiming the proof was undeniable, but inside were just ordinary family photos. The nurse was stunned. The woman immediately accused her of spreading lies and slander. Everyone condemned the nurse. Ignoring her, the woman returned to the room. As she looked through the album again, she noticed handwritten words on the back of a photo, a warning from her mother-in-law. "Don't trust my inner thoughts." Remembering her mother-in-law's previous actions, the woman suddenly understood everything.